All right, y'all. We think we found a problem. I've been working on the internet all this time, and it looks like, feels, or seems like it must be my laptop. So we're doing this one from uh, Craig's iPad and my iPhone. So, um, if y'all can see us and y'all have any questions or whatever, shoot them to us. Okay. We're gonna go live for a few minutes and see how it goes, and um, talk a little bit of Clemson football and
That's
you know
right.
what we're thinking. So, all right, Craig, let's start over. I asked you earlier how your week's going, and I it was so broken up I couldn't get it. So you tell me, how's your week going, buddy?
Man, had a great week. Yesterday was good. Got to watch some Clemson football, but didn't end up the way we wanted. But hey, great week. How about yourself?
Same here, man. I'm starting to get my footing under me a little bit after about 2 weeks ago, um,
Yeah,
and so I'm thankful for that. Really blessed, and hey, look here, it's good to be alive, man. Good to
that's
be
right.
alive. So, all right, when we last talked live, we were coming off of or going into the Troy game, and that's when our technical difficulties really kind of messed up on us, and so we're gonna jump forward a little bit. We we won against Troy, had to come back in the second half, and I don't think anybody was happy, but I don't think we were. Um, how do I want to put it? We were happy we got the win, but you know, weren't happy with some of the stuff we saw. You think I'm close there, or you want to? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you tell me.
absolutely. Down what 16-0 at half, I believe.
Yep,
Tale of two halves.
that's right.
Clemson put it on the second half and pulled out the win. I've seen them, and I do want to throw this little asterisk in there. There's all kinds of comparisons to the 2016 season when I think that Clemson beat Troy by 6, I believe. Then
Yep,
it was a close game,
yep.
so not using that as a measuring stick, but you know, some of these teams, you can throw them out there like Troy. Just because they're Troy doesn't mean they're not. They don't have athletes. They've got athletes,
Oh yeah,
and
oh
they
yeah.
bring
Well,
everything they got.
and especially now in the age of the NIL and the transfer portal, I do believe you've got more of, and I'm not using this as an excuse. Let's make that clear right now, because um, with the on paper, we should have blown them out of the stadium, and in the second half should have been, you know, having Cade and all of the offensive staff and the defensive side, staff on the defensive side sitting on the sidelines. We put ourselves in a position where we, I'm not gonna say it was a dogfight, but we did have to fight to come back. You know,
That's right.
um, and I think it raised some concerns with a lot of people, and even more so after this weekend. Let's go ahead and jump forward to the Georgia Tech game. Um, very disappointed in the outcome, um, and I'm just at a loss, man. I really am. I'm
Yeah,
a positive person, but I'm also a realistic person, and you know, I just can't put my finger on it, man. How about you?
I'm like you, lost of words. I do want to say this: Georgia Tech, not because they beat Clemson. Georgia Tech has a really good football team. Um,
Look,
really
yeah,
good.
he has turned that program completely around in just a couple years. Again, he's using the portal, he's using the NIL. I mean, it's easier to do it now. And we can see this, okay? How quick we went from playing for national championships to, you know, having this scrap trying to get to a championship game in the conference, and having to scrap to get into the playoffs, man.
That's
It can
right.
change in a matter of a heartbeat.
It
So
can. It can.
it,
You know, and I want to say this since we're on that subject. A lot of fans are saying our season's over. I
Mhm.
saw today where um, Paul Feinbaum said Clemson season is over. It's not over.
No.
There's a lot of tough games ahead. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Can Clemson win all of them? Absolutely. Can Clemson lose some of them? Absolutely. Um, Clemson is in control of their destiny from this point forward. It's a matter
Right.
of wanting to. In my opinion, it's a matter of do you want it or not? Because the two games that Clemson has lost has been because not because they have better talent. We've been outplayed and outcoached. And that's
Right.
my opinion. Outplayed
Mine
and
too.
outcoached. And hey, Dabo said it. Rat poison. I think that's another big deal. All those preseason accolades. Hey, the talent is there to have matched those accolades, but
Right.
you got to do it on the field.
That's right.
You got to do it on the field.
Well, and look, you and I both are old enough um to remember, and some of our fans at this point. I mean, look, I've seen on social media already today. Matter of fact, just before we came on, where one Clemson fan, and he's a diehard Tiger. Okay, um, is saying that if Dabo can't get this thing straightened out right now, he needs to join the Virginia Tech coach. And I'm like, you know, and I don't want to say that I don't. It's not a matter of not wanting to win. Okay, I am one of the most competitive people in the world. Ask any of my kids who have gone up against me. I'm not a daddy that lets the child win. That makes sense.
Yep.
Um, and that can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. But the way I look at it is, um, you know, if I want to get participation trophies out, you know, we can do some other stuff. But
Exactly. I'm the
with
same
that
way.
being and with that being said, the way what I've looked at is I can remember going to a Georgia Tech game at Clemson in Death Valley. Okay, when we walked in and bought upper deck tickets for $10. Okay, that tells you how long ago it was. All right,
Yep.
we went to go to the upper deck, and the guy stopped us at the told us where do y'all want to sit up there, and we were like, well, this is where our tickets are, and he was like, trust me, y'all can sit anywhere in the lower bowl you want to. There's going to be maybe a handful of fans here, because and at that time, we were horrible. Okay,
It
um, Ken
must have been.
Hatfield, Ken Hatfield had destroyed what Danny Ford had built. All right,
I was going to say that
and
must be the Ken Hatfield, Tommy West days.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and so I remember those days, man.
Me too.
And here over the last decade, we haven't lost. I mean, we've won at least 9 games every year. I mean, come on here, that in itself, tells you um a lot. Okay,
That's
I
right.
can still go ahead, and I don't mean to.
No,
I
no,
got
go
on a
ahead.
tangent.
No,
No, no,
I agree. I agree.
I'll get on a tangent in a heartbeat, and you know that. You
Well,
know me well enough to know it's.
well, Freddie, you hit the nail on the head. Expectations are so high. Of course, you know what? I don't know what. There's 100 and something teams out there, college football teams. Every one of them want to win the national championship every year. Now, guess what? Only one team's going to win. Only two teams are going to play for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the standard, and that's where every team wants to be. That's where Clemson wants to be. But you can't. It's not going to happen every year.
No.
You want to be competitive. You want to be competitive. You want to put the best team on the field that you've got. Um, but you can't expect to win every single game every season. It's not going to happen.
Well, and there again, and if you think about this thing, we won our first one in 1981. Okay, all right. We won our second one in 2016. All right, but
Yep.
even more so than that, I remember Chip Kelly taking an Oregon team into the national championship game and getting beaten. Okay, all right.
Bad. Yep.
Yeah, and all I can remember is people talking about, look, Chip Kelly has his team on the right track. They're not a one and done. You're going to see them competing for this for years to come. I don't think Oregon's been back, have they? I mean, not that I can remember. I know Chip Kelly has not, as a head coach, has not been back. All right,
That's
and
right.
that says a lot, man. It just like you said a minute ago, you can't win it every year. You can't, and not with the stuff that they've got going on now. Anyway, NIL is pretty much
Oh
taking
no,
it over. So,
that's right. That's this. But you know what? I think what it all boils down to for this football season, we're sitting 1-2.
hmm
Um, Expectations were high. Yep, this is
yep,
probably one of the best overall teams that Coach Sweeney has had in a few years,
yep,
and I have a feeling that that rat poison got to him. It's hard, but I can tell you this: I said it the last time. You know, nobody likes to lose a football game, but imagine how those Clemson football players feel right now. Imagine how those coaches feel right now.
yeah,
Yep, it was in their hands to do what they needed to do to win it. They came up short, just short.
yep.
Cade Klubnik said a few plays short. Well, you know what? That's that almost. What is it? The saying
Ho- Horseshoes.
counts horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
it all boils down to everybody's got a job to do. You do your job. Don't worry about the next person doing their job. You do your job. Do it to the best of your ability. It's gonna come together. And I say that because one play from the Georgia Tech game kind of stands out to me. I hate to call him out. Number 23, Ashton Hampton.
hmm
I love the kid. He's going to be great.
Yeah,
He got caught peeking at quarterback and let that receiver get behind him and ahead of him. And that was the first long play that Georgia Tech had.
yep.
Um, you know, just doing your job. He
That's
shouldn't be
right.
peeking to see what the quarterback's doing because he's got other guys up there that are in control of that.
That's
If
right.
he's doing his job, that's one play. That's just one play. I mean, that didn't make or break the game. You know, that didn't
No.
lose the game. But that's just one example. Another
Yep.
example I saw opening drive of the second half. Um, I think it was Sap. Who was it? Number 5, tight
Yep.
end,
Yep.
right up the middle. He was
Yep.
wide open. Phil Maffa, and I mean not Phil Maffa, and he reminds me. Adam Randall
I know.
reminds me of Maffa a lot.
Me
Um,
too.
Randall, he was going to be the little outlet
hmm
for Cade. He let the dude blitzing run right by him. If he would have just chipped him, just a little
Yeah.
chip,
Just
slow him
touch him.
down, it's a touchdown to start off the second half.
Yep. Yep. They even pointed it out. I mean, he just
That's a
didn't have the
touchdown.
time. That's right. It was
Nope.
wide open all the way
And
down the field.
and another thing, and I get on a tangent too, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you talk. I've never seen a quarterback have so many tip passes at the line
I
as Klubnik. He's had them every game so far, and I can't figure that out.
know.
Why?
I, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, well, and look, all right, you pointed on some things there. All right, now I'm gonna throw some things in there too. All right, and one of those
Okay.
gonna be defense. All right, because one of the things that Allen preached on in the off season was we are going if we don't do anything else, yep, we're gonna be better at tackling. Okay, and I I saw Saturday so many missed tackles that, and I'm
Yep.
talking, and here's what's so bad. This is what frustrated me so bad. Okay, it's not like they were grabbing at the guy to try to catch him and missing. I'm talking they hit him and he doesn't go down, and it's like they're stunned that, oh, I hit him and he didn't go down, so he just runs by me. You know,
Yep. Yep.
another one that point blew up at me was, and I love Wesco, I really do. Bryant Wesco is a
Yep.
dude, okay? Um, but you know,
NFL.
he if he catches one of the balls that was thrown to him in the second half, we aren't having this discussion. All
Yep.
right. Because it would have taken more time off the clock, and I still believe if he catches that pass, we score on that drive. Um,
That's right.
Sadly enough, and that's the way it's felt. It's felt like almost like with us with offense that we'll get a drive going and then all of a sudden you'll get one of those backbreakers that like a false start or one of your receivers just drops a ball that he should catch or running back gets caught in the backfield. um
Yep.
they're drive killers, and that's the way it's felt so far this year.
It
um
has. It
I
has.
mean, and so, all right.
I,
I
well,
I put
I want to touch on something since you brought that up, Freddie.
uh-huh.
Two things. I remember the announcers yesterday talking about when you see Georgia Tech's defense, you're going to see a bunch of white helmets around the ball. They swarm on the ball. Okay, I'm like you. I'm Clemson fan for life. I'm 57 years old, and hey, I've been going to games since I was old enough to walk. Um, we've lost. Clemson has lost that mentality of swarming to the ball.
Yeah.
Um, I wish that they would. I wish that one day they would show the West Virginia game when Clemson played West Virginia in the bowl game, and watch our defense. Show it to them.
Hmm.
But that's one thing. I want to see our guys going to the ball, whether you're going to be in that play or not. You get to the daggone ball, you know. All right. And the other thing, look here. This is what 3 games in a row. I'm no, I'm lying. 2 games in a row. We have looked better in the second half than we have in the first half.
Hmm.
Um, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Is it poor game planning? Why is the play calling on both sides of the ball different in that second half? Why can't Clemson come out in the first half of a football game the way that they have in the second half these last 2 games?
I
You see what
and
I'm
I,
saying?
I do, and it feels to me. All right, this is my opinion only. I I believe that part of that is we have coaches that want to feel, especially on offense. Okay, they want to feel out how the defense is going to play you, and then make adjustments. And my way of looking at it is, you come out and play your game, let them
Exactly.
make adjustments to you, and then you make adjustments at halftime. That's the way I've
Exactly.
always coached. That's the way I've always been coached. So,
Nailed it.
I,
That's the thing. If Clemson feels like they've got the better football team, you go out and do what you do best and let them stop you. If
that's right.
now if they're stopping you, then you switch up a little bit. But
Yep.
I think you're right. I think it's overthinking. I think
Hmm.
it's you know they look at all these things. What are the what is their tendency? What is their
Hmm.
tendency for this? What is their
That's
tendency
right.
for that? You know what? If we got the dudes, get out there and play ball and make them stop you.
Yep.
You
Now,
know?
don't get me, and I don't want to get it wrong here. Okay, I don't want anybody to misthink or think what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we need to. How do I want to put this? I I've got I've got a close family member that got all upset over the weekend because we drove the ball down and we were running the ball down their throat. We get down there and we passed the ball, getting close, and I think it got intercepted or whatever. I I'm a firm believer in you've got to be two dimensional. Okay. I You can't run, you can't rush a run all the way down the field. You're going to have to keep it balanced. But at the same time, if your rushing is working, it needs to be a little bit more. Does that make sense to you? Um,
Yep.
but keep it
Again.
a little balanced
Yep.
anyway. So,
Don't
um,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. And it almost feels like, especially with some of the stuff that I've found out over the last couple of weeks, that we seem to have tried to fix something that wasn't broken. And
I agree.
I, I don't. I mean, I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't go into a lot of detail on that. It's just stuff that I've heard. Myself personally, that has kind of led me to believe that. Um, and I was hoping that that would after that got fixed that we would we would look a little bit better this weekend. Um, I mean, and I don't want to take anything away from Georgia Tech. All right,
No,
Georgia Tech is a good team. Okay,
they
and I'm
are.
not just saying that like
They're
you said
well
a
coached.
minute ago. uh, Matter of fact, I told
Yeah,
somebody earlier today. At the end of the year, I do believe that you will see Georgia Tech with more wins than Vanderbilt. And yeah, it was a Gamecock fan
oh
that was
yeah.
trying to tell me that Georgia Tech was way worse than Vanderbilt, and that Vanderbilt would win the ACC and all this kind of stuff. So
Well, look here. I want to, and I'm gonna throw this out there too. And you know, I've been hearing it already too. What's better, 2-1 or 1-2? Well,
yeah,
Carolina, South Carolina beat Virginia Tech to open the season out, and
yeah,
Virginia Tech lost Old Dominion yesterday,
yeah,
pretty bad.
yeah.
It's still early in the year. You don't look here. A lot's going to change as the season goes on. Carolina
That's right.
has a good football team.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
you know, they lost a quarterback during the game and their star defensive end during the game last night, but you have to still compensate for that. Hey,
yeah.
Clemson's going to be
Look,
fine, though.
we lost
Clemson
two
will
offense.
be fine.
Look here, we went into the game yesterday without two offensive linemen, Khalil Barnes, Antonio Williams. Like you said, you got to pick up for that. And I'll be honest with you,
That's
Luke
right.
Doty did not. I mean, for a
He did good.
for a yeah, I mean, for a guy that's been in college for
Good.
like 35 years, he didn't look bad. You know,
He was a
so
game manager. He managed that game.
yeah. And I was joking earlier, and look, look, it's we're Clemson fans at heart. We have Carolina friends that like to give us a hard time. We like to give them a hard time. And I told one earlier today. I said, look, keep in mind that your backup quarterback had one less scoring drive than your starter did, and he came in at
Yep,
the end of the second quarter, so it wasn't like he was in there for the whole game.
that's
So,
right. Well, and Luke Doty doesn't play defense.
no, no. And I will be honest
you
with
know,
you, they look a lot like us on defense.
and
I
that's what
mean,
blows my mind.
yeah.
But hey, that defense Clemson has, they got to get it together.
Mm-hmm. All
They
right.
got to get it together. All right, let's do this, Freddie,
Yep. All right.
because I know this is your show, but
No, no, no,
let,
no,
let's go
brother.
let's go
This
with
is
some
hey.
positives yesterday. You go first.
All right. I want to get this straight before you. What you said just a minute ago is not correct. This is our
Our
show.
show. There
All
you
right.
go. There you go.
So, all
Well,
right.
I
So,
want you to go with positives first.
all
Offense,
right.
defense, special
Positives on
teams.
defense. Positive on defense. Um, I see, I see the talent, and I feel confident that um, Coach Allen and that side of the ball, the defensive side, they're going to get it. They're going to get those things worked out. I've
Yep.
already seen a better um, defensive team on the field than I saw last year. Um, there's still some players that get caught out of place, like you said. Ashton Hampton got caught yesterday peeking. Um, but overall, I don't think I've seen as many players just out in space like they don't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
So um that's my thoughts on the positives. How about you on
T-
defense?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a negative to spin to a positive.
Okay.
I don't like this 4-2-5 defense. Number one, I don't like it. I think that's one reason why most of these teams are getting their long runs right up the daggum middle, up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the positives that I've seen, Ricardo Jones has come on. I like his play. You don't hear a lot about Terrell. which is a good thing
Yep.
because he's doing his job. He's shutting them down. I want to hear Sammy Brown's name a little bit more, but I think that our line is holding up as good as they can. They got a lot of pressure back there. It's hard defending a running quarterback, and I
Oh
get
yeah.
that. But I liked our rotation. We had fresh guys out there a lot on the line. Will Helt is a huge
Hmm.
asset. Um, there's a lot of positives there.
I was
I know.
happy to hear Alexander's name a good bit yesterday.
Yep, Jeremiah Alexander. He was getting in there, and he's a dude.
All right, now tell me this: do you think that Tom Allen is running that defense because that's what he wants to run, or do you think it's more so this is his first year and that this is what he was given? I'm talking player wise coming in.
I, I think that's what he wants to run.
Okay,
Man, I like the good old 4-3.
I do
That's
too.
me.
I do
Um,
too.
I'm man. That's just me. I'm old
Well, I mean,
school. Yeah.
that's what we were raised on around here.
Yep.
You know,
I
I mean,
like that.
that's what. So,
This is the thing, Freddie. We got the dudes on the in the secondary.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, Hampton. I want to say this. This is a positive. Ashton Hampton, that play that we talked about earlier, that
Hmm.
ain't gonna happen again the rest of the year to him.
I don't think so either.
It won't. He'll be better because of that.
That's right.
Um, but yeah, that's 4-3. I think that'll eliminate a lot of those runs. I would love to see more blitzing.
Hmm.
Um, man, that's where we miss Venables. He would mix it up.
Yeah,
Man, those dudes would be coming from every direction, and nobody knew. Man, we
that's
didn't
right.
even know where they were coming from.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. All right, going to offense. You go first with offense.
Offense, the positive I saw on offense is we in that second half, Clemson was able to move the football. Mistakes, shot them in the foot. Um, Klubnik was great in flashes and made some poor decisions in flashes.
Yep.
Adam Randall is the man. He
Yep.
reminds me of a cross between Phil Maffa and Wayne Gallman.
I hadn't thought you're right about Wayne Gallman. I hadn't thought about him that way. Yeah.
I love Wayne Gallman. I mean, loved
Yeah.
all those great running backs that we've had. Travis Etienne, Spiller. I just love. Hey, Gallman was a violent runner. He wasn't the prettiest runner in the world, but he would get those yards and get some tough yards with some speed. And Maffa, of course, he was just a workhorse. I mean,
Yeah.
he'd tote the ball 30 times and get 4 or 5 yards of carry. But then you've got Adam Randall. It's a good cross between the two. He's got the power and
Mhm.
he's got a little bit of the speed. He's not the fastest dude in the world, no,
That's right.
but he can break away. He
Yep.
showed that.
Well,
Love him.
and the one thing that I'll say about Wayne Gallman that I can remember to this day is how they used to talk about when he ran the ball, he always fell forward. You
Yep.
never saw him get hit and go backwards.
Nope. Randall
And
same
that
way.
always impressed me with him because he wasn't a big guy, you
Nope.
know. Um, all right, so positives for me on offense, pretty much similar to what you were saying. Um, we were able to move the ball in the second half. And I'll be honest with you, what I'm about to say next, I believe goes for both sides of the ball. Um, if I understood it right, Georgia Tech came in averaging 500 some yards a game. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know it's only the third game. I get that. All right, let's go ahead and kick that out of there. But at the same time, that's impressive. Okay. Um,
Absolutely.
all right. And when the game was over, if I understood it correctly, we were only a few yards off from them as far as total yards go. All right.
After the
Which,
game,
yeah, yeah.
well,
All right. So that tells you, it goes back to what you said a minute ago. The turnovers shot us in the foot. Okay. Um, if we cut down on our mistakes going forward, I do believe that I believe that what Cade said yesterday is true. Okay. Now I'm not going to sit here and there was enough blame to go around yesterday.
oh yeah,
I'm
missed
not
field
ready
goal.
to. Yeah, I'm not ready to, to throw in the towel and
No,
the sky is falling and all this kind of stuff. Okay, you don't have to worry about walking me back off a cliff. In other words,
same.
or
Yep.
off of a ledge. Um, if we get some of these things cleaned up, I do believe that you see a different team going forward. The one bright spot there is Dabo's teams always seem to play better in the second half. Um, now does that mean that you know I don't put this? Does that mean that that's a good thing for us? Does it mean that we need to fit or Dabo needs to figure out some way to get these guys going rolling earlier? I don't know. I really don't.
Well, I
You
have
know.
a suggestion for that.
Okay.
Me and you need to go to that game Saturday and let us give the pregame speech before they run out on that field.
Hey, I would be all over it if so. I look. I know our podcast ain't out there all together yet, and we've had so many technical difficulties. They might be scared that we'd get up there and one of us would freeze up while the other one's talking and stuff like that. But I
Hey,
would be game for it. Okay. I look. I mean, I can promise you. Matter of fact, and I hate to call him out, but my nephew made a comment said somebody needs to pay Tyler to call into the talk show. I said, and my response to him was, some idiot will probably be calling in.
oh
I
yeah,
don't know that it'll be Tyler, but I'm sure someone will be calling in.
that's
Okay.
right.
Um, as many people as are out there right now already wanting. I saw an article earlier today. I did not read into it or read it, but the title was two big time coaches that will take Dabo's or one of these or how is it said two
Oh
big
yeah.
time coaches that could take Dabo's place next year. And I'm
Look
like,
here, Coach Sweeney is not going anywhere. He's
no,
done incredible things at Clemson. But you know what? The biggest thing that people don't look at. Well, number one, I mean, he's there to win football games,
hmm
and he's done that. But the biggest thing that I've seen is he's made a lot of men out of these young fellows that's come through that program. He's got a
yeah,
culture there that's second to none, and has developed Clemson into being known as
yeah,
that. And me as a fan,
hmm
I appreciate that. I appreciate
same,
that. You know, he
same
puts
here.
his players, what's going to happen to them after football
That's
is
right.
his concern. He wants them to be better men when they leave there. And a lot of coaches are like that, but that's a first for Clemson to have somebody that's that um, dedicated
Yep.
to that.
And I'm gonna tell you,
He ain't
I
going
don't.
nowhere.
Well, I think I told you it's been a few weeks ago. It's been before we started the podcast. Um, my cousin called me up and said, "Hey, um, I need somebody to ride with me. I'm going up to Clemson." I said, "What for?" He said, "I'm going to meet up with Coach Ford." He said, my cousin preaches at one of the local churches around here, and he uses, football, autographed footballs and stuff like that with their ministry and stuff like that." And I said, "Well, hey, look, I'd love to go." And I had that Friday off because we were getting ready for school to start back and everything. So, I had the opportunity. So we ride up there, and um, in in normal Wayne fashion, we were behind a little bit time wise, and finally got in touch with Coach Ford like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, and Wayne's talking to him. He says, "Coach, we want to meet with you." I'm gonna tell you this whole story because some of it's funny, and then it'll go into what you were saying a minute ago about Dabo. Okay,
Right.
all right. So he gets in touch with him. He says, "Well, fellas, where are y'all at now?" And Wayne says, "Coach, we're downtown Clemson. You tell us where you want us to meet you at." And I can't remember the exact name of the place. He said, "I'm at so and so shop out here in Liberty, getting a used tire from a tractor." He said, "But I don't want to put y'all out. What?" Yeah, Wayne says, "Coach, we'll come to you. If you'll wait on us, we'll come to you." He says, "I sure will. I sure will." So we get there, we're talking, and Coach Ford and I are talking about something that, and I won't go into what we were exactly talking about. Okay, but he said there was an event going on this weekend, and the one reason that he usually went to this event is because former players of his came into Clemson for that event, and he felt obligated to be there for his former players.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, what struck me there is I can see Dabo doing the same thing. I know for a fact
Oh yeah.
from some of the stuff that I know, um, away from that Dabo has been there for players of his his former players. So it's really weird how close they are in
Yeah. Oh, he
their
cares.
yeah. And so yeah, I agree with you 100% on the thing with Dabo, and we've been blessed, man, to have two great coaches like these two that we've had.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Absolutely.
and I'm not saying that I can get it done, but I'm going to throw this out there. I did ask Coach Ford before we left. Told him we were getting ready to start this podcast, and I told him that we would love to have him on here. And he did give me an open invite. Said you let me know when, and I'll be more than happy to come on y'all show. Um, now
Well,
I do believe we need to get our
that would be
technical
awesome.
stuff out. I know we need to get our technical stuff out, out of the way before we do that. But that may be something we can do down the road.
There you
So,
go.
but
And I want to run back something here real quick because I know
okay,
our time is winding on down here a little bit. But you talked
yeah,
about the stats from the game.
mm-hmm.
I'm a big stats guy. I'm a numbers guy because I was in
Huge, you've already
finance.
thrown that out there.
Yep. I was in finance for 32 years, so I'm a numbers guy. So I
Yeah.
love stats. First downs: Clemson 17, Georgia Tech 18. Clemson was 7 of 12 in third down conversions. They were 8 of 15. Um, Clemson was 1 for 1 in fourth down. Georgia Tech was 0 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Total yards: Clemson had 381 total yards to Georgia Tech's 358.
I thought so.
Yep. Passing: Clemson 207, Georgia Tech 211. I mean, it's a tight game.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
and I'm gonna get to what the difference was here in a minute. Yards per pass: 8 for Clemson, 7.5 for Georgia Tech. Right there. Rushing: Clemson had 35 attempts. Georgia Tech had 42. Total rushing yards: this is where we got them:
Mm-hmm.
174 to Georgia Tech's 147. So tight, right? Pretty
Yeah.
tight there.
Oh yeah.
The difference:
I know.
Clemson had 2 turnovers. Georgia Tech had 0. Clemson
Yep.
had 1 fumble and 1 interception, and that 1 fumble that Clemson had was a lost fumble.
Yep.
The difference in the game right there.
And
And
if you
and it, I would expect me being a numbers guy, I would expect for it being a close game, um, that it it would come down to the end. It came
Mhm.
down to a field goal as time expired. That
Yep.
they gotta give them credit. They're at home, type game, but those are the kinds that if you're going to be a championship team, you got to win the close ones.
That's right. Those are the games that we actually did win in 2016 and 2018.
Exactly, and that was the point I was going to. You hit the nail on the head there, Freddie.
Yep.
Yep, you
Um,
got to win
and
those.
it and I'm gonna throw something else in there. If you think about this, all right, you pointed out the two turnovers. Now I did not get to see the first turnover because we had a our driving school had a class that day, so
Right.
I didn't get to see the first part of the game. But the second one, think about this: we're driving and we're deep
We're
for
on the 2 or 3 yard line.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and that's why I believe that's why my nephew was a little upset because we didn't rush it in for a touchdown. All
You,
right.
you know what? I'm going to tell you what it reminded me of. I can't remember who the Seahawks were playing,
Mm-hmm.
but they had oh gosh, the running back that was so great for the Seahawks. The
Yep.
beast. What was his name? Lord have mercy.
I know who you're talking
Anyway,
about. He's an announcer now.
um,
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch. They were down on the 2 or 3 yard line, just like Clemson was. And guess what? Guess what the Seahawks do? They throw a pass, and guess what happens?
Intercepted.
It gets
Intercept.
intercepted. Ball game. And everybody said the same thing. You got Marshawn Lynch that got you down there for the most part. they're first and goal. Run it.
And
You got Adam.
I can tell you who it was against. The Patriots in the Super Bowl.
That's exactly right. It's a Super Bowl. I mean, and the same thing happened.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
run the ball. You got a 6'2", 235-pound dude that is probably a better guy than he is a football player, and he's a great football player.
He was
But
a violent rusher, man.
man, look here, jumbo package. That goes back to what we said at the beginning of this. Make them beat you.
That's right.
Don't
That's
get
right.
cutesy. Look here, Danny Ford. It was always what 3 or 4 yards and a cloud of dust.
Yep.
If it,
And look here with Coach Ford. With Coach Ford, it was hilarious because if you saw Rodney Williams pass the ball, you're like, "Where'd that come from?"
exactly, that's right. Hey, I remember that '81 season. We had like 3 or 4 running backs that could have been starters at any college in the nation.
Well, and here's the thing: I'm gonna give our. I know we've already given our ages and stuff, but I'm gonna give our ages one more time because I can still remember going to Clemson back when just after Coach Ford had left, or right there before, and looking at the field from one side to the other, it was like looking up a mountain, and I was like, "What in the world, man? Why?" They said Coach Ford wanted his running backs running downhill from the get go. And I'm like,
Yep,
and so if you went, you could see it at the middle of the field. It was like a angled down. Now, of
yep.
course, it's not like that anymore because,
Where,
but
where you live, they would literally be running downhill.
yeah, that's what they said. They said he wanted his running backs running downhill literally when they got the ball.
Yep.
So, it, look, we could go, and we can at some point in time. We can go over stories. I've met people like Terry Allen and people like that. I know you've met Harold Jameson, and wasn't it? I think it was Harold Jameson you met down in Orangeburg. Am I right?
Yep, Santee. That's my buddy now. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
We've got stories that we could probably fill an hour or two with,
Oh yeah.
but this is what I want to leave tonight with. Okay. And you'll have the final word tonight. Okay. All
All
right.
right.
For me, I want to leave everybody with this thought, Ross, or this thought. I have been telling my cousin for for a decade now. Okay. You've got to enjoy the wins, enjoy the ride, enjoy the national championship runs that you've experienced because it can all go away in a matter of the flick of a wrist or snap, there you go, snap of a finger. And because he used to tell me, man, what if we lose this weekend? And I'm like, Wayne, think about this. I mean, we're on a run right now that nobody else in this state has ever seen. um
That's
you
right.
know Outside of Carolina's baseball championships, okay. In football, nobody's really ever seen this. And now,
And one thing, real quick, Freddie,
uh-huh,
and that's happened since Coach Sweeney has been our head football coach. So keep on
exactly,
going.
exactly. And he's looked at me now, or he's told me now, said, you kept trying to tell me that I needed to enjoy this thing, I need to smell the roses, take time, and here we are now, and people are in uproar about. So yeah, the sky's not falling yet.
No,
And I'm gonna be honest with you. If anybody out there thinks that we should get rid of Coach Sweeney, you're entitled to your opinion, and I get that. I get being upset. I am as big a fan, and I get into it as much as anybody can. But you
same.
gotta step back and realize, like you said a little while ago, without him, we're not having any of these discussions. Without him being here, I don't believe that Clemson is um, known for being little old Clemson. All right,
That's right.
because he's put it out there.
He
So,
has
um,
under
you
his
know,
leadership and guidance.
that's right. And I still believe that. Now, I'm not saying that. I don't think that some things need to change on, on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what to really say there at this point. But I do believe that this man got it done one time before, and he did it. It's that time with pretty much no name coaches, other than Coach Venables. You know, so who
Yep,
knows? We could have our next offensive coordinator on the staff already.
that's right.
Never know.
He always has a plan.
That's right. So, all right, I told you you're gonna have the last word. Go for it, brother.
All right. Positivity. Um, a lot of people have said that Clemson's football season is over. It ain't over because there's still 9 more football games to be played. I'm with you. I think that the fans need to quit jumping off the bridge and enjoy the ride that we're on. Because you know what? I'll never forget. My daughter is 25 years old now. My daughter Hannah, and when she was about 9 or 10 years old, on a Sunday morning, I heard her ask her mama. She said, "Did Clemson win last night?" And her mama said, "No, they didn't." And Hannah said, "So I guess Dad's going to be in a bad mood the rest of the day." And I heard her say that. I heard that conversation, and that got me to the core. And you know what? From that point forward, what happens with Clemson football doesn't affect my feeling, my mood. Yeah, I want us to win every single football game, but I don't let my life and the way that I react to things hinge on that. Um, there's a lot more important things out there in this world that we need to worry about. Number one is, I think, you look at your own life. They're talking about a wasted season. What do you do with your life? Do you dedicate your life to God? Do you Are you wasting your life? Um,
Amen.
and I know that I'm kind of going off on the deep
No,
end
you're
here a
good.
little bit, but there's a lot of things that are more important than what Clemson does on a Saturday. Um,
Amen.
and I'm going to say this: I'm a Clemson fan, win or lose, and I'm going to pull for those boys, and I'm going to talk up those boys. Yep, I'm going to get down a little bit, and I'm going to have some negative things to say, but you know what? I'm a Clemson fan for life, and this season's not over with. There's a lot to play for still. We've lost one ACC game. We've got 7 more to go.
That's
We
right.
can still win the ACC. We
Mm-hmm.
might play Georgia Tech for the ACC championship and get our redemption. We we've got There's a lot on the line still, and I'm not giving up on those boys. But I think a lot of people need to stop and reflect on, you know, is this Clemson football team going to cause me to not be a fan anymore?
Yeah.
That's what some of these people are acting like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're supposed to win the national championship. Cade was supposed to win the Heisman Trophy. You don't know what's going to happen. If you're a fan, be a fan. Pull for your team. Show up
Yep.
on Saturday if you have the ability to be there. Don't put the boys down. These are 18 to 24-year-old boys that's out there working their butts off
That's right.
before we wake up in the morning.
Yep.
4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, they're out there working. They're out there working in the afternoons. They're doing schoolwork too. They're student athletes.
That's right.
They're students first. You know what? You know, Coach Sweeney, you the best, man. Keep doing what you're doing. We're still fans, and we're gonna still pull for you. And look here, we're gonna put 42 on Syracuse Saturday. How about that? Tweet that.
All right.
Tweet
So you
that.
go. What? All right. What's your prediction for Saturday? You've already
Honestly,
said 42. 42 to what?
42-21. Tigers
Okay.
on top.
Okay. I'm actually. I think we're gonna swap places because I think the last time you went closer and I went a little bit higher. Um, I'm going. I'm going 28-17,
Hey,
and just
A
you know
Clemson win.
exactly right. And I look. I applaud you on what you said a minute ago. That I'm with you 100% there.
Hey,
You know, so
you know
um,
what, Freddie? One
mhm,
good thing about the two of us being such hardcore Clemson fans and being such good friends is that both of us share a faith in Christ,
mhm.
and um,
Amen.
you know what? At the end of the day, that's most important.
That's it. Oh
You
yeah,
know what?
no doubt,
That's most important. So people
no
talking
doubt.
about Clemson wasting a football season. Look here, those boys right there playing their hearts out, and
Hmm.
they want to win worse than we want them to win, and they're going to get
Exactly,
it done. They're going to get
exactly
it
right.
done.
Yep. Well, and I will say on what on top of what you said, you said it a minute ago. The season's not over. All right.
No,
Um, now I do believe that the hill this year is a lot steeper than it was last year. But if you remember, last year everybody said there was no chance for us to get to the ACC championship game, and even less chance for us to get to the playoffs. And so I learned a
it's
long
still
time
there.
ago these things. That's right, exactly right. So, dude, I have enjoyed it again tonight.
Me too.
I will tell you that going forward, I will be using my iPad as well as like you are.
There you go.
Unless we can figure something else out. Um and you know, y'all go to our Facebook page. It's called the title of this show, okay? Tiger Talk with some Clemson gentlemen. And like us there, like the page. Well, let me change it. It's not a page. It is send a friend request. We will accept your friend request. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is because, like I told y'all the other week, Jason has allowed us to use the group that he created and to get us started out there because Facebook will only allow a page or a group or a person that has had a page for 6 months and at least 100 followers. So I wanted to put this plug in there before we got off. Um, the
That's,
more people we have on our page, the better off we are. Okay.
that's
Um,
right.
you
And
can
shout
all
out to hey,
yeah.
tell them a little bit about Jason too, because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
where he works.
Jason is one of the writers at at the Clemson Insider. Does a great job. I love him like a brother. All right. I can tell you this much: if I want anything, or if I want anything answered, that's who I usually go to. He gives me the best information that anybody can get, and does the same thing. His articles are straight from the heart. He does a great job with it. Wrote with him. I wrote with him whenever he had the Clemson Junkies, and he taught me so much there. I could go look. We could
Good
do an
dude.
entire show on me talking up Jason. Okay,
That's right.
um,
So thank you,
but y'all,
JP. Appreciate you,
yeah,
brother.
thank you, JP. Y'all go like the Clemson Insider. You know, they're going to give you the best information you can get. All right.
TCI.
That's right. TCI. Um, all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. All
There
right.
you go.
After church. After
After
church.
church.
And after watching our show.
That's
Okay.
right.
Um, also, if you get a chance, go to the YouTube page. It's the same thing, same title. Like it, share it, whatever you want to do. It's free to the public. If you like what we're putting out there, let us know. Okay. We thank y'all, and hopefully we'll be rolling smoothly from this point forward. Okay.
That's
Craig, as
right.
always, man, brother, it's always
Pleasure,
good
brother.
talking to you, bro. Um,
You too, man.
need y'all, we will talk to y'all next week. Until then, all God's children said, "Go Tigers."
Go Tigers.